Hello everyone and welcome back to the Caribbean Sim Motorsport, well, society really at this point. We go all sorts. This is a brand new championship, the Bushy Park Clubman series. It is a 10-round series at the home of Barbadian Motorsport at Bushy Park. Yes, we've managed to bring it along to Assetto Corsa, modded in with the loving community, along with some swanky new cars as well. You may notice right away that car's not standard. No, it's the Ford Fiesta WRC car from 2015, no less. And of course, if you know anything about Caribbean Motorsport, they're big rallyists. They're into their rallying. But they swapped it for tarmac today, and hopefully you're going to see some good old circuit racing. Now, this Bushy Park series is in fact partnered with Bushy Park Barbados itself. Yes, the track has decided just to help us along a bit. They've put some prizes on offer. The winner of each round will receive a karting experience at Bushy Park Circuit, and then there are prizes also on offer for the leaders of the championship come the end of the 10 rounds. The overall winner will win a radical experience around the track, which is certainly nothing to be snuffed at. How many people can say they've driven one of those ferocious beasts, along with some Suzuki Swift Cup for second place and some more karting for the third place runner-up. Each round focuses on a different car. So, admittedly, this is round 2 now. Well, there was a stream for round 1, but unfortunately I was unable to make it, so there was no commentary. But round 1 involved the Radical SR3. That was about 2 weeks ago. This, as you can see, as I already said, the Ford Fiesta WRC car. And then periodically through the next couple of months, it's not a weekly event or bi-weekly, but there will be at least once a month around this championship. So next time will be with the Suzuki Swift Cup car, and after that in April there will be the Formula 3 round, and then throughout the rest of the rounds each one will be a different car focusing on various different disciplines. So there's something for everyone here, and there's no entry fees, there's no set requirement for ability or anything like that. This is a series that caters for all, caters for everyone. So we have quite a lot of names you'll recognise from any other series that you would have seen by the Caribbean Motorsport guys, by ourselves. Anything from the ACC Championship to the Carib Rally Club as well. Seeing them do their virtual Rally Barbados series the last 2 years due to COVID, which have been a rounding success. And yes, the ACC Championship, which of course you might know my voice from, among other things. But yeah, there'll be names you recognise, some new ones in there as well. But we can run through them as it comes to time. So at the minute we are in practice. There's about half an hour practice for the guys to just get accustomed to everything. Currently about 5 minutes and 36 seconds left. Look at that. And then we're going to go into qualifying. Now, it's an interesting format, this series. So the qualifying itself is 10 minutes, so not very long. This will dictate the starting grid for race 1. And yes, I said race 1. That means there is more than one race during these rounds. So yeah, the first race is 15 laps long. Nice and simple. They are sprint races, these, but these are by no means the endurance things we're used to from ACC. So race 1, 15 laps long, nice and simple, around Bushy Park. And then that will dictate the grid for race 2, but it will be a reverse grid. Ha ha ha! The full grid will be reversed, so whoever finishes first will line up in last place for race 2, and whoever's in last will line up in first. Very self-explanatory. And then it will be an all-out dash again with a line to see who comes out on top. So there might be an element of tactics in this. Perhaps you don't want to finish first if you want to do better in the second race, although the points are worth the same for race 1 and race 2. So there wouldn't be much point. You want as many points as you can get, but there might be some tactics involved if you want a better start for race 2. And then there are some extra points on offer as well. Pole position gets a point, and then the fastest lap for race 1 gets a point, and fastest lap for race 2 gets a point. So there's a total of 3 extra points on offer as well. Just something else for the drivers to aim for. So, of course, there are a good amount of rules in this race. Everyone is on the same amount of tyres. Of course, the Assetto Corsa allows you a huge amount of customization within the cars and the setup and everything. It's not a fixed setup. Everyone can customize the setup of their cars to however they wish, and the Fiesta, being a rally car, means it's not quite suited for, well, naturally it's not quite suited for circuit driving. But if you ever see the size of these curbs on this track, then you'll know that it can be quite rough, something the cars are perhaps used to. Fixed tyres as well. They're all using the same compounder tyre, so there's no advantages from using different tyres or length or anything like that. And all assists are sort of what you'd expect from a factory car, so they reflect what they are in the car. So with perhaps some of the touring cars later on in the series, they might have ABS or they might have traction control, but things like the Radical from last race were all no ABS, no traction control, that sort of thing. So whatever the car has is what the drivers will have to contend with. So there'll be some lockups in this, the lack of ABS in these cars, and also the lack of TC as well. So there will be potentially some spins. We'll find out. So, as I said before, there was one round before this, well, including 2 races. So I'll give you an update on what the series standings are currently saying. So, in first place we have Dominic Charles, who has 41 points. He did very well in both races there to put himself on top after the first round. Closely followed by Damien Hall, 3 points behind on 38. So these two have pulled a bit of a gap from third, Ryan O'Hunt, who's with 25 points. So the top 2 seem to have pulled away from the rest of the field, but then after that, third down through 7th, separated by 3 points. Now, if that doesn't tell you how competitive this series is, then nothing will. These guys are all very good, very closely competed against each other for many years in real life and virtually. A lot of these guys know each other in person from various forms of rallying through Barbados and the world. But also on the virtual world more recently, they've got to know each other as well. So, as you can see, 3rd through 7th, very close. And Oisin Wilson, even closer still, only on 19 points in 8th place. And then a bit of a gap down to Graham Finlayson, a Scottish rally driver, always finds himself coming across to Barbados to participate in the festivities every summer. And a bit further down, Kevin John Manning, I should say, 12 points. Dylan Downey with 10. And then just going slightly further down, Jamal Badou and Carl Merritt separating points, or sharing points, I should say, on 9. And going down, Javon Covington, Jeevan Panjwani, Alex Goodrich, Orlando Morris and Chris Carrington. Rounding out the standings for what we currently have. So you may see a few more names crop up over the series. The entry list is event by event, so drivers don't have to make every round. You may see drivers only do one. There may be some names pop up for a singular race throughout the series. But that's the whole point. Is it's a nice, easygoing community here. We don't put any standards in anyone. There's no, well, there'll be a bit of gesticulating, I'm sure. A bit of afterwards with a few drivers if things go right, but we're a friendly bunch and we don't discriminate against any type of ability or anything like that. And with that being said, practice is just coming to an end. A couple of drivers still on track. Just getting that last bit of practice in before qualifying will begin shortly. And then we'll be able to jump on board with someone who can actually go show you the track. Although I'm sure of many of you are probably locals to this, so you're going to know it better than I will. But we'll do our best to follow someone around when the time comes. It has been beautifully modelled, this track. As I said, it's not a standard one in Assetto Corsa. I don't think you can blame them for not including it in the likes of Silverstone and Monza and things like that, but they really have done a great job in modelling everything from the scenery and the houses around the place to the track itself, putting in a lot of details where the curves are, heights of the curbs, undulations around the track. And you'll notice, even the infield, they got the karting track and things, and the big jump that you just see in the track rallies around Bushy Park. Use the bridge for the jump, and just have a bit of everything. So with that, qualifying is about to start. We'll see who goes out first. Someone just absolutely tore away from their pit box. That was phenomenal. Let's find out who that was. That was Dominic Charles, just ripped out of there. And this will be a good point to ride on board with Dominic, and he can show us around the lap as he warms himself up. He wants to get a lap in early, it seems. And really put a marker down for everyone else to try and follow. Continue from where he left off in the last round. So as he makes his way around, you can see there are a nice collection of liveries in this series. Provided by Bushy and Wilson. Thank you very much. He does a good job of making these. And it's lovingly shared them for the community, so we can have our nice sponsor-clad cars all around the place. Look at that go. So as he's approaching the final part of the lap, we'll see him cross the start-finish line. And this is a bad time to say that my screen has just messed up. Bear with me while I just find him again. So, sorry about that, viewers. It would have been fine for your screen, but on my screen everything went a bit black there. So, he is just coming up to the S's now, towards the second half of the lap. You want to keep it nice and tight through the second bit there, but then it does tighten up again for the nice hairpin. But it just opens up a bit. You want to get on the throttle just sort of half amount. You don't want to get on it too early. You'll find yourself understeering off into the wall there, which no one really wants to do. But then it's a really tricky next section. You want to trail the brakes in, keep as far left as possible, let it come across on exit, and it's all about balancing the car. If you get too hard on the brakes and too hard on the throttle, you're just going to find yourself struggling all the way through that section. Through the S's at the end there to come across the line, and it can actually take you through a full lap now. Into the first corner, nice and hard on the brakes. There's again a nice, very late apex on this one. Then you want to straighten the car up as much as possible. Get on the throttle as early as you can, because this is probably the longest straight on the track. Again, nice and hard on the anchors, about the 50-metre board. Chuck it in. Nice amount of camber on this circuit, just to help get the car in nice and tight. Again, track opens up nice and wide, but you want to bring back all the way over to the left for the S's. You don't want to hit these giant curves. You can see how he's trying to just stay clear of them, but get as close as you dare. Again, tuck it down, just keep it on the brakes all the way through that hairpin. On the throttle, not too early. And then open it up as you come onto the back straight. Come back over to the right-hand side. Just trail the brakes in and then get hard on them as you straighten up at the 50-metre board. Nice and close to the curb, and then squeeze on the power, coming around to the outside. And then just a dab of brakes, keeping it nice and tight, get it into the middle of the track. If you stray too wide there, you're going to mess up your exit through the S's there, and you're going to get on the power incredibly late. And that is a lap of Bushy Park. Nice and simple, not the longest track in the world, but a challenging one nonetheless. You can see what the drivers have to contend with these giant curbs through the S's as well. If you hit, you'll see if a couple of drivers ever hit them, they'll know about it. I'm sure you will as well. You see the car up in the air flying as if it was trying to take off, like Pegasus. But yes, let's check in on how the drive's doing so far. 6 minutes left of qualifying, nearly halfway through. So Dominic Charles currently leading with a 54.2. That doesn't seem right, I'm going to be honest. The fastest lap we've seen is a 1:02 throughout the weeks of testing. So something tells me that's not quite right. Unless as we saw the lap though, he didn't cheat. So there'll be some discussion there as to what his lap time actually is. But currently in P1, Second place, Damien Hall with a 103.3. He's just diving into the pit lane. He's just perhaps going to change something, perhaps put some new tyres on. I should say tyre wear is in effect in this. And over 15 laps, it's not going to be huge, but it does make a difference in qualifying when you want that ultimate 1 lap pace. So he's just coming into the pits. Then Joel Dallas in the 3rd place, currently 6/10 behind 2nd. 4th, very, very close. What's that? 3 thousandths of a second separating Barry Hill and Joel Dallas. If that doesn't show you just how, as I said before, how competitive this series is and how evenly matched a lot of these guys are, that definitely will. Because Barry just had was that bit of contact. Who was that bit of contact with there? I'm unsure. I think it was it was with Dylan Downey. You want to be careful there. You do want to be careful with Dylan. He's still in there. For those of you that don't know, Dylan Downey is the operations supervisor at the circuit, so you know if you annoy him, you might not be going back in real life. Yes, it's good to have Dylan along taking part in these as well, of course. Having someone who knows the circuit, the ins and outs, behind the scenes, what goes on there, like the back of his hand. Good to have him with us taking part. But yes, Dylan, you must remember it's still qualifying. Don't want to just sneak up on him and take that back straight away. Where was I? While I was busy dilly-dallying, commentating on that, Oisin Wilson has put himself in 3rd place, 103.8. He's managed to split Damien and Joel. And then we have in 6th place currently Jeevan Panjwani, 104.1. And again, only about 8 thousandths of a second separating him and Robert Simmons. And then looking slightly further down, we've got Jamal Badou, an old hand with CSM is Jamal. You'll see him pretty much everywhere. If it's got a steering wheel, the tyres, he's probably the man to talk to about it. Again, Javon Codrington, again, another namesake here. Only 1,000ths of a second off of Jamal. This is ridiculously close. I can only imagine what the racing's going to be like when it comes around. And then Dylan Downey in 10th, currently diving into the pit lane. In 11th, currently sitting, is Carl Merritt. And only 200 separating him and Orlando Morris. And looking further down, Christian Renauth. Derek Rudder, again, another name's an old hand here at CSM. You'll see him from everything from rallying to ACC, and even here on Bushy Park in AC. And then currently bringing up the rear, although I believe he has yet to put in a full lap, is Ryan Hunt, because it's 4 minutes 33.6. So unless he's blind, I think, or got the brakes stuck on, I think that should start to creep up a bit once he puts in more laps. So with 2 minutes left to qualifying, 2 minutes and 10 seconds, that is enough for drivers to put in 2 laps, maybe 3 if they're extremely lucky. So I do believe Dominic Charles is probably going to end up with first on the grid with that, unless we can source a more realistic lap time, should we say, unless he legitimately has done a 54.2, in which case fair play to him. I don't know how he's done that. But found out that it's some of those other laps are 102, so it's fair to say he's firmly at the top, perhaps not with a 54.2, but with a 1 minute 2 seconds. So he's currently going to wind up in first place. But I'm very intrigued. It's going to be the fight for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. That they're all there's obviously the aliens amongst us. There always are. But it's always the mid pack where it gets spicy. It's always the ones that are just fighting for those thousandths of a second. That makes all the difference, especially when it comes to the second race and reverse grid as well. That thousandths of a second might easily be the difference between a good chunk of points and finishing higher up or lower down on the grid. for the next one. Currently 4 drivers in the pit lane. Well, say that one instantly leaves again, so 3. If you do see on stream an extra car chilling about the place, that is just me, don't worry. Unfortunately, due to the way Assetto Corsa works, I am technically contending in this race. You'll see me come flying along. That's how I actually commentate in these things. Running alongside the cars. So, with qualifying coming to an end, that does mean that Dominic Charles has managed to put himself in P1 with a 102 something, if the timing screen were to be truthful. Damien Hall is crossed the line. He's going to finish in second with a 103.2. And Oisin Wilson, 103.8. He is currently still on track, but he has just pulled over and will return to garage. So he's going to stick in third place currently, unless Barry Hill, who is coming towards last part of the lap, he still might have something to say. He's done a 103.7. Barry Hill, the last attempt, has managed to put himself slightly higher up on the leaderboard. Managed to outdo Oisin Wilson to get that last podium spot. So 4th place, Oisin Wilson. And then in 5th is Joel Dallas. Followed by 6th, Jamal Badou. So while the game fades to black and we switch to the race format, I can finish reading you through the grid. I will need to return to the pits. You're right. So there is currently the extra car on the grid. I'll need to return to pits for that, so you can ignore the Fiesta at the very back. The ways of old Assetto Corsa, they clearly didn't have this in mind when they made the game. But yes, Dominic Charles lining up first on the grid, followed by Damien Hall. Barry Hill managed to put that last-ditch effort in to put it in 3rd. Oisin Wilson manages to sneak into 4th. Now, I did see, I believe, that Joel disconnected between qualifying and the race there, but he would have lined up on 5th. So whether perhaps he could join, I don't know if he's able to join back now the race has started, but that's a very shame to see him disconnect there. 5th place then is promoted the rest of the field. Jamal Badou in 5th. Jeevan Panjwani lining up on 6th alongside Robert Simmons. Carl Merritt even, in 8th place alongside Javon Codrington. Dylan Downey in 10th, followed by Ryan Hunt. Orlando Morris, Christian Renauth, Derek Rudder, and then Brian Mandeville, who is, again, not racing in this. He is the producer in my ear, the man controlling the stream and makes all the magic happen. So us two, we will bail out once the race starts in 20 seconds. But it's certainly going to be a good old dash to the first corner. With 10 seconds left to go. Of course, Dominic Charles has the inside line going down in, but he's going to be careful. If he... And it's lights out and away we go. Let's just back out to the pits. As 3 wide nearly going into the first corner. Dominic Charles just manages to stay ahead. While I sort out my life. Apologies for the lack of commentary right now. Just trying to refine the correct camera angle, having gone back to the pits. And it has, in fact, kicked me from the session. That's annoying. And unfortunately, due to the way Assetto Corsa works, I'm not going to be able to rejoin. So while we just figure some things out, you of course all can see what's happening. Me and Brian will just try and sort this out back in as quickly as we can. We'll keep the videos rolling. Okay, so good news, everyone. we've managed to find a way for me to be able to see the race. Unfortunately, because it kicked me, I can't then join again. So we're here now. It's working. I have a stream provided by Brian. So, as we can see, and I hope you managed to all see that, it was a very tight start to begin with, but Dominic Charles has managed to pull away in first place, and he's managed to pull out about a 2-second gap towards Barry Hill. Then third place, Oisin Wilson managed to just hold on to a good start for Oisin, but Jeevan Panjwani managed to jump up a couple of places, starting from 6th, managed to go to 4th. Then Javon Codrington in 5th again, just seems to jump up. Who would be the loser from that? Jamal Badou, I believe, would have been the loser from all of that at the very beginning. But there is a good fight happening, I believe, between Jamal and Morris as well. Looks like all running a little bit wide there, just onto the gravel, and it does seem Hunt behind nearly followed suit. But that looked like a good move for Jamal Badou, just managed to sneak up the inside of Morris. So right on board now with Ryan Hunt, and he gets a good view of the action unfolding in front of him. Yeah, see, just seems to spread out and calm down a little bit there. Hunt just trying to make up a little bit of time on Morris. Badou, in fact, already starting to pull away. Is perhaps Morris the cork in the bottle for them all? Again, not too much of a look. In fact, Hunt having a little look down the inside did force Morris to defend there, but that compromises exit. Still looking to the inside to make himself as big as he can in his mirrors, flashing the lights as well, every trick in the book. Of course, it's a sprint race. Every lap counts, every position counts. But these two seem to have calmed down a little bit, following the scrap earlier. Looking slightly further back the field, we've got Ranalph and Downey. Ranalph looked to have just closed the gap a bit, and Downey coming into the middle sector of the lap. Downey just trying to squeeze on the power. Ranalph just running a little bit wide there. You can see in the background that cherry red Ford Fiesta. Just hard on the anchors again, probably the trickiest part of the track. Further up ahead, we've got Dominic Charles still in the lead. He's got a healthy gap, about 3.5 seconds. Building out to 4, but looking further back, Barry Hill, and Oisin Wilson. The gap is closed up a little bit, less than a second between them now. Going through the S's here on lap 5. Barry just clipping a little bit of the curb. You can see just how much airtime the Fiesta got. If you hit these curbs, it really does unsettle the car. Just ruin a good 2-3 corners following the lap, because you've got to readjust yourself. If you're in that middle bit of the lap where there's so many corners that come just follow each other, it can get tricky, but hasn't seemed to have affected him too much. He's managed to maintain the gap to Wilson. Past the pit lane. Be hard on the brakes, see if they can make up any more time, but doesn't seem to be doing. Although Hill does run a little bit wide, but not wide enough for Wilson to really have any sort of sniff up the inside. Going to have to sit back and perhaps wait for another mistake and close the gap on Hill. So as we just switch back to
Rob Simmons. He's currently holding off Jamal Badou, less than a second between them. The gap between Simmons and Codrington just opened up a little bit, so Simmons at this point is just looking backwards, trying to keep Badou at bay. Ooh, Jamal Badou had a big moment there. You can see the car just got unsettled. I think he hit the inside curb. Oh, and there's more contact. Him and Hunt. That's a person with the name of Hunt having contact. You never would have thought, but that looked like completely Jamal Badou's fault. He wants to get going again as quickly as possible. Tried to just keep it on the inside of Hunt. And completely muscled him out the corner. That was... I don't think that was very aggressive from Badou. I think Hunt has every reason not to be very happy in that circumstance, but he's done well not to be put off by it. Badou, of course, would probably be quite seething. He was chasing down Simmons and has lost the position to Morris amongst all of that. But these three very close on track right now. Hunt will be looking to overturn this, I think, as soon as possible, because, of course, there are stewards' inquiries allowed in this race, done afterwards. Events can be submitted and the stewards will look at them, so penalties will be dished out, whether Hunt will think that he needs to. But as we just see Oisin Wilson run wide, he did manage to overtake Hill there, but then ran wide and has managed to let him back through. So Wilson just perhaps carried a bit too much speed through the corner, letting him run wide. That looked like a bit of handy B there from Hill. Barry Hill breaking out the handbrake potentially, trying to get the rotation on the car. Oh, but running very wide through the S's. That's going to allow Wilson a good run, but he has to just back off slightly because it's one by single file through there. It's one by one. Insert Noah's Ark quote here. But Wilson just having to back off a little bit. This has allowed Panjuani to get in the act as well. He's only half a second back from Wilson as the cars just start bunching up. You can see Wilson has intent. There's a little lock up from Codrington there. He's wanted to push on. Any sort of scrap amongst those three in front, he's going to obviously want to capitalise on as much as possible. You can tell Hill is really driving at the skin. You can tell the way he's carrying that little bit of extra speed into the corners to try and defend any sort of lunge from Wilson. But this does mean that Wilson's going to have better of exit on pretty much every corner. There is also a good scrap going on a bit further back between Badou, Hunt and Hall. That's still going on. About 0.8 of a second separating. There's four of them now. As Morris, Badou, Hunt and Hall, all four of them on track together. Coming now to the chicane. Any sort of incidents here? Not quite. A good amount of camber there as well to fling the car through. As we see Hall looking to the left-hand side, perhaps wandering to go around the outside of Hunt. Oh, big contact there between Hunt and Jamal Badou. It looked like Hunt just tried to stick his nose up the inside. Badou perhaps came across, not knowing he's there, spun him out. Manages to keep it going. Good car control there, Jamal. That was well done. How you managed to keep that going, I'm not sure. Just plant your right foot and hope for the best, I think. But as a result of that, Hunt and Hall have got through. It's not gone well for Jamal Badou this race. Managed starting it in 5th, now dropped down to 10th. He's still got 5 laps left to try and pull his way back up the field. Oh, that was close. Hunt nearly rear-ending Hall there. Perhaps just missed time to brake slightly. He would have been just praying that he had enough of that brake pedal left to stop himself going to the back of him. But he's just managed to avoid it. This is turning up into a proper sprint race. Good amount of argy-bargy touring car style. Just little bits of here and there, bit of nagging, bit of hassling from everyone on the grid. That's good to see. This is what we come here to enjoy. As we come through now. Again, no such bits of contact this time, where the incident happened last time. But you just see Hunt perhaps just a little bit more faithful on the brakes every single time. He's closing right up to the back of Hall. Hall being very defensive, middle of the track there. I don't think Hunt was ever close enough to make a move. Very good defensive driving from Hall nonetheless. Coming in now, you can see just, oh, that was a good angle. You can see just how much the curbs upset the car. If you hit them, you are going flying. And they're almost about half the size of the wheel. drive has just calmed down a little bit, it seems. Going back up to third place. Who's this? Looks like Ocean Wilson driving down, sorry, Hill driving down the inside of Wilson. Or was it Hill defending from Wilson? Either way, Wilson did have a small lock-up. Now coming on to the back straight. Oh, wiggling all over the shop, getting in your mirrors, getting in his mind. Hill, vigorous defending, comes back over to the right-hand side. He's done very well to keep Wilson at bay there. Although I think Wilson just that little bit quicker. He's hounding the back of that cherry red Fiesta. It won't be long till he gets past. It is allowing Panjwani in on the axe. He's smelling blood. I think Wilson has got to eye up another move. Perhaps just take another lap, and he'll be making the move for second in no time again. Just needs to be able to just make it stick as he runs a little bit wide onto the gravel, keeps it together. Hill just allowing them perhaps that extra 2 tenths to be able to pull away and just be able to protect himself now going into the hairpin. Yeah, not quite close enough to make a move this time is Wilson. So another close on-track battle. Damien Hall and Wilson still going on. Sorry, Morris going on. Morris defending all for his life on the inside there, but does allow Hall to try and get the cutback. Good run out of the corner there for Hall, making Morris defend very early. He might be able to try it around the outside here, Hall. Late on the brakes, the front of that car dives, manages to get the undercut slightly. Oh, very good move there from Hall. Can he make it stick? He's going to have the outside for the chicane, but I think Morris might have to know. He's keeping it in. That is a phenomenal bit of driving there from Morris. I was expecting Hall to just be able to dive round, but Morris is saying, nope, get behind me, son, you're going nowhere. That is exactly what I wanted. Onto the grass there from Hall. This is spectacular racing. You can see the drivers really giving it their all. Getting hard on the brakes. Morris defending very early, but that has surely opened it up for Hall. He's just gone heavy onto the brakes, side by side now coming in. And Hall just that little bit later on the brakes manages to get the move done as they go through the S's. But will Morris be able to launch a counter-attack? Hall defending very early, hard on the brakes. Oh, Morris diving to the inside, thinks again, goes to the outside. I think Morris just got a little bit late there. It was a good intent. Tried to stick a late one down the inside, but in the end, didn't manage to quite pull it off. Some spectacular racing there. Good job done by Hall. Good offensive move. But it's now his turn to defend. Morris has shown what he's worth. Hall is pulling away quite well there. So, as we approach the end of this race, Dominic Charles is out in the lead. He's had no one to contend with. As Barry Hill, looking further back, has had all of the drama. Him and Oisin Wilson. Somehow, credit to Barry Hill, he's managed to hold on to this. Oisin's been all over him like a rash the whole race. Even now, still looking up that inside. Still just looking for any avenue of opening, any sort of gap he can put that Fiesta. Even now, Hill defending very early. He's not leaving anything up to chance. With 2 laps left of this race. Panjwani, still sniffing blood. Hill ran very wide there, having to take the narrow line in through the S's, perhaps going to offer Wilson an opportunity to get the exit on it. Will he this time? But it's such a hesitant throttle around that corner. You've very similar around there. Any sort of advantage from the previous corner on exit is sort of mitigated through there. Again, hard on the brakes. Down to the final part of the lap. Dominic Charles is on the last lap as we speak, so he has half a lap left before he'll take the checkered flag. But in the meantime, we're going to stick with Barry Hill and Oisin Wilson. This is the probably hottest contested position right now. Oh, and Panjwani, the curb to try and just sneak up the inside of Wilson. He knew it was probably the last chance he had to get it done, but he couldn't quite, and now he's fallen back. Well, a shame for him. But as we come to the end of this race, Dominic Charles is going to come across the line and take the checkered flag in first place and wins the first race of round 2 here for the Bushy Park Clubman Championship. Well done, Dominic, but this is all about Barry Hill and Oisin Wilson now. But I think Barry's just managed to keep at bay Oisin Wilson. Coming across the line, he does a little celebratory wiggle. That was a very good showing from the three of them there. Panjuani as well in 4th, Codrington in 5th, and now Rob Simmons in 6th place. Just manages to hold off Hall, 3/10 in it. Followed by Morris, Hunt, and Jamal Badou. Jamal not quite managing to crawl back the positions that he lost at the start. And Christian Ranalf coming in 11th place. Nice showboaty slide coming into the final corner. Just trying to show off some of his drifting skills, I think. And then behind him is Derek Rudder. Across the line to finish 12th place. And then in 13th, Dylan Downey, who obviously had an altercation with the wall, whether that was instigated by someone else or a disconnect perhaps. And then also had Merritt as well, disconnect about lap 10. And there you have it. So, that was an awesome first race. I'm just dreading to think what the driver comms is like in the Discord room. Oh, I should say, by the way, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, come and join us on Discord. It is quite very simply Caribbean Sim Motorsport on Discord. Give us a search. Join up, get involved in the events. We have a large host of offerings, everything from rally to ACC to ACE, Assetto Normal, Assetto Corsa. A lot of the boys play iRacing as well. R Factor 2. And of course Dirt Rally 2 as well. Big rallying community here, obviously being in Barbados. A lot of ralliers, a lot of rallyists. It'd be rude of me not to mention them. But yes, come join us on Discord, see what we're about. There'll definitely be something for you if you're at all into sim racing or if you're new and just want to get into it. Lovely, wholesome community and many things for you to try. Now, that was a good result for Dominic Charles. This does then, of course, mean he's going to be at the back of the grid for the next race. This is a reverse grid, as I said, for race 2. So it'll take some time just to set that up. So bear with us while we just get round to the second race. And we, of course, have to go through the old leaving and joining process again. So it has managed to put people in reverse order, but just those that cross the line. So unfortunately Dylan Downey and Carl Merritt will unfortunately be at the back of the grid, but with the amount of just, well, I don't even know how to describe it. It's probably going to be a bit of carnage for the first couple of laps as the faster drivers try and pick their way through. It's certainly going to be an interesting one. I wouldn't go anywhere for this race 2. This is where it's going to get hot up and get really interesting. So I should remind us all that the winner of the round, so the most points over the 2 races, does get a karting experience at Bushy Park. Bushy Park very kindly putting on a host of prizes for the competitors to win. The main one being, of course, what they're all fighting for is that radical experience at Bushy Park, the winner of the championship gets. And they do have the Suzuki Swift Cup car on offer, and again, a whole host of karting experiences available for 3rd place. But there's still 8 more rounds of that to come. So, the lights are on. They are. Engines revving. And We're about to be underway for race 2 of round 2. And it's lights out, away we go. Derek Rudder leading them all the way down into turn 1. Oh, cars 3, 4 abreast in some places. Derek managing to hold off. Whoa, Ranalf getting hugely on the curb. Was that Badu? I think I was Badu getting on the curb, pushing Ranalf wide. And Derek Rudder just managing to scamper away, bit hot on into the middle part there. And that was Ranalf running incredibly wide. All the way into the gravel as he rejoins at the back of the pack. Very unfortunate. 3 wide. Badu, Morris, and Hunt was that. In fact, this is too complicated. Oh, big amount of contact there. Who was that spearing off into the grass? I think that, and there's another one. I think that was Hall and I'm not even sure. That might have been Codrington spitting out. And again, Merritt having more incidents. There's too much. This is ridiculous, boys. Calm down. There was a huge amount of contact there, and still going on at the front. Derek Rudder just holding Badu at bay. He's bouncing off those curbs. Who again is still trying to hold Simmons off. Rob Simmons trying to get. He's probably in the best position here to try and break through the back and start pulling away from those who finished behind him in race 1. Here we go. First lap down. We have Rudder in the lead, followed by Badu, Simmons, Hunt, Pangiani, Wilson, and Badu still getting very sideways. That's allowed Simmons an easy pass. There's going to be a bit of door banging from Hunt and Badu there, just managing to keep his position. This is just boiling nicely, isn't it? This is all just what we love to see and what we all expect to see from a reverse grid race. Pangiani, a lovely move down the inside of Badu there. A little bit of contact as well from Badu and Hunt, just nearly pitting him into a wall. Not quite though. Badu said no thank you. Wasn't up for any of that, but he's now being lunged by Hunt down the inside as a couple of people do run wide, just trying to defend with all their might through the middle part of the lap. Oh, that was nearly 3 wide through the middle part of the S's. You don't want to be doing that. Barry Hill managed to work his way up to 6th place, quickly followed by Dominic Charles, the guys who started at the back. Now mid-pack, this just come on to lap 3. The gap opened up between Hill and Wilson. So just perhaps starting to calm down a bit, single file as we go through turn 1. Yeah, it's all just cars starting to spread out now. It offered me a chance to breathe and gather my thoughts after what was a very hectic start. I don't know about you, but I was clenched the whole way through there. Oh, Derek! It's showing off. He's in the lead, he's enjoying himself. Rob Simmons has managed to pull away a little bit from Pangiani and Hunt. Simmons is going to be hunting down Rudder with all his might. But Badu, amongst all that bit of contact, has dropped back to 5th place. Everyone single file, not too close to make a move for anyone there. Coming out through the S's again. Any munching of curbs. No airtime for anyone to speak of. Rudder just managing to maintain about a gap of just under a second. He's doing very well here, just to sort of manage the gap behind him. Helps, of course, as while they're scrapping away, he can do his best to just run away. Simmons defending slightly from Pangiani, still again pushing him to the inside of the circuit, making sure there's no gap left for him. But this is going to be, I reckon, there's going to be a lunge here from Pangiani on Simmons, if you can predict such a thing. Well, it's actually Hunt who's lunged Pangiani. Good move down the inside. Pangiani turns in, doesn't see him. Huge amount of contact there between Hunt and Pangiani. Pangiani down into 6th. This has allowed Badu and Hill to jump him. That wasn't part of the plan, but good move from Hunt up into P3 on the podium. Oh, that was a little bit of a nudge there from, I'm not quite sure, that was between about P6, Charles and Wilson, I believe. Just on the inside hairpin. Simmons still hunting down Derek Rudder. Managed to pull in about a 10th. He's got a bit of breathing space behind him as Hunt has managed to quite literally barge his competition out of the way. And Jamal Badu, Barry Hill. Of course, Barry's finished 2nd last time, already up into 5th, having started in 12th. That was an interesting move from Badu there. Really tried to send up the inside to Hunt, pushed him wide, but Hunt managed to just defend. All sorts of scrapping going on. Hunt thought about defending against Hill there, but realised he's perhaps a bit too far back. Hill now going to have the outside. The next hairpin, thinks about diving to the inside. Is he going to be a bit later on the brakes? Not quite. Well defended from Perdue, but slightly behind. Oh, Charles. Pandrani, I should say, pushes Charles wide. Little bit of door bang there, bit of contact mid-corner. Pushes Charles wide. Pandrani managing to go through, as does Oisin Wilson. Now a chance for the two of them to try and scamper away. Bit of a gap between Pandrani and Hill, but Hill now right under the rear wing of Jamal Perdue. Difficult corner to make a move on this one, so he might just have to line it up coming on to turn 3. Meanwhile, Simmons hasn't quite managed to make any inroads to Derek Rudder. Rudder doing well to hold position, maintain the gap to second place. Oh, that was very close between Jamal Perdue and Hunt. You just got to think, of course, it's a sprint race. There's no need to have any sort of sympathy for the car. As long as it makes it to the end and in sort of one piece, you've won. Looking further back, I can see it. Fight for 9th and 10th. Codrington just managed to pass Morris. Around the outside, Morris actually, in fact, just manages to hold on to it. Well defended from Morris. Is he going to manage to keep it through the S's? Just about a car's length ahead. Oh, who was that? Looks like they had a massive moment on the brakes. Dylan Downey. He's got hard on the brakes and the car went, nope, you're going that way. Whether he's got some damage, I'm not sure. Might have played a part in that. That's very unfortunate for Dylan Downey, spearing into the grass. Meanwhile, Rob Simmons has managed to get past Derek Rudder. A huge moment, puff of smoke from Barry Hill. What a moment. Whether there was contact there, perhaps he hit the curb. Car was full broadside. Smoke just matted the throttle, trying to bring it round again. Managed to keep hold of it. Well done, Barry. But as I was saying, Rob has managed to overturn Derek Rudder. And a bit of contact there. Ryan Hunt really threw it up the inside of Derek. I think Ryan's got a bit impatient with all this nudging going on. Derek. Oh, no! That was a huge incident there. Derek Rudder ending up hard into the wall. That's going to be a serious amount of damage on that Fiesta. It looked like perhaps whether Derek just got on the brakes a little bit earlier than Ryan was expecting, went straight into the back of him, pushed him off the track. That might be an incident for the stewards to sort out, I'm not going to be honest. God, who's that sending it sideways? I think that was Oisin Wilson just giving it for the crowd, for the fans. This is which I'm sure there are many. I love this. I hope you're all enjoying it at home. Meanwhile, Rob still out in front, managed to pull a 1.6 second gap to Ryan Hunt. It's just scamper away as the field is so tightly packed. Any sort of mistake is just punished, and anyone who's out in front obviously is loving the fact that he can run away. So Ryan Hunt in second managed to arge and barge his way through. Dominic Charles has managed to, amongst all of that, has managed to capitalise probably the most. He was down in 8th about 2 laps ago, now up to 4th place. He might make it 3rd if he can hang it around the outside of Jamal Perdue. Not going to have to just slot in behind as we head through the S's. Now, very close between them. And a second separating 4 drivers there. And you can't say we don't give you entertainment here at Caribbean Sim Motorsport. And all thanks to Bushy Park and this wonderful modded circuit, which has been so beautifully done. Now, I reckon this is just a momentary bit of calm before the storm. As we come in nearly to the last third of the race, I should say. As we look slightly further back, Damien Hall in 8th place. There seems to have just been a few gaps opening up towards the rear. Those who have unfortunately just had bits of contact and ended up in walls and in other people's cars. There's gaps starting to appear, but this it's a scrap for the podium is what this is. Scrap for second place. Second down all the way through 8th. They can all get second place here. That is all Barry Hill having a bit of contact there. I think that was Wilson, and it's even more with Pandrani and Hall. Oh, 4 of them getting very close. your elbows out, lads. They can't go 3 wide into turn 1 as they cross the line. Who's going to come out here? Oh, I think that was Wilson just decided to back out. There was a good amount of contact there. I think that was Hall just pushing Hill, just had his nose in. I don't think either of them had anywhere to go there. I think that was probably the best that could have happened during their 3 wide into turn 1. And now Dominic Charles has managed to overturn Brian Hunt, managed to get himself into 2nd place. He's got 5 laps left to try and chase down Rob Simmons. Whether Hunt, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried a lunge from back there, knowing Ryan. But it's a bit too far back. And Jamal still hot on their heels. All this scrapping, more gaps just starting to appear throughout the track. Jamal bouncing off those curbs. He really does like, I suppose you've paid for it, you might as well use it, use all the track. Really pushing track limits there. Across the line start, lap 11. No 3 wide this time, everyone seems to have learned their lesson. So, Rob Simmons, the gap closing between him and Dominic Charles. Charles managed to take about a second out of him that lap. So now Dominic has been unleashed from the mid-pack. It won't be long before Rob is scrapping for his life. As they're coming down to the infield hairpin, usually always a good move, good place to make a move. Rob making his intentions known, defending very, very early. Did compromise his exit, allowed Dominic to carry the maximum amount of speed through. Now he's right under his rear wing I should say. Sparks flying as the front catches the asphalt, the floor there. God, Dominic all over the back of Robert Simmons. All about exit, it's all about the exit. As we come on to the start-finish straight, is he going to try a move into turn 1? Going to be ambitious. Rob defending early. Just manages to hold him off. I have a feeling though Dominic will be carrying his speed through. He just a little wiggle. Thinks about going up the inside. Thinks better of it. Try and line up and move down the pit straight. Rob defending very, very early. Late on the brakes though. You can see just how late he brakes. Brake disc glowing. Little bit of wiggle there from Dominic. Rob still managed to keep ahead. He's got to defend to the inside, surely. No, he's taking his normal racing line. That might have been a mistake. Dominic Charles throws it down the inside. Bits of contact there. Rob comes across, perhaps doesn't know he's there. Neck and neck now as they come through, entering the S's. Oh, that's very fair between them. Rob gave them all the room in the world there. Very fair racing. Dominic says, thank you very much. I will take that every day of the week. Dominic Charles back into 1st place. That was an extraordinary bit of driving between the pair of them there. Good amount of fair racing, I think, is what you can call that. So, looking slightly further back, we've got Ryan Hunt in 3rd, quickly followed by Jamal Badou. That's the scrap for the final position on the podium. And I can't help but wonder whether Rob Simmons will just perhaps start to fall back into the clutches of Ryan Hunt and Jamal Badou. Ryan taking a slightly defensive line, just covering all avenues as Jamal is the closest he's been in a number of laps. Already looking to the inside. Oh, Ryan defending stoutly. Jamal having to force to go to the outside. Will try and get the cutback. Takes a very tight line. He's going to be alongside as they go into the S's. He is technically ahead, but is he quite far? That was excellent move by Jamal Badou. Well done, sir. Everyone buy that man a beer. That is a textbook cutback there. How you want to make an overtake? Oh no, Brian! he was interrupted. He was bored of me complimenting Jamal and thought, nope, you're not having this, son. Oh, it's Damien Hall. He just has to get on the brakes as Ryan comes swerving across the road. Oh, and Jamal's too late on the brakes, runs a little bit wide. Is that going to allow Ryan just that little sniff down into turn 3? Not quite. Jamal just managed to hold it off, but he's compromised his line. Track limits there, but we can ignore that. What's track limits amongst friends? Down into turn 4. Oh no! Huge amount of contact. Ryan had his advantage. Jamal, but there's even more. It's Petrani, keep it going, son. Oh,
Ryan, what was that? This is brilliant stuff. Oh, amongst all of that, this allowed Rob Simmons to scamper away a little bit more. And Ryan Hunt down into fourth. Perfect for Damien Hall, though. He's managed to bring himself up into third place. Just the seas opened. He went through. He said, "Thank you very much," as if it wasn't there. Oh, let's come on to the last lap. Oh wow, Dominic Charles is in the lead. A healthy 4-second gap over Rob Simmons. Damien Hall in third, Ryan Hunt fourth. Jamal Badou still using all of his paid-for track. Now just holding off Jeevan Panjwani, who's got Barry Hill for company. Barry not had the same success as Dominic Charles coming through this pack, currently sitting in seventh. Perhaps just trying to think, can I get any last-second moves in? He's got to try his best. It's the last lap. Just coming down to the infield hairpin. Jamal Badou running a little bit wide. It's going to allow Panjwani a little bit of a sniff. Coming in through the S's, but Jamal covers it. But it's all going to be about this hairpin. Who can make the lunge? Bit of a curb munch from Badou. Oh, Barry Hill throwing it down the inside. Pushes Panjwani wide. I reckon that will be one for the stewards to sort out. Very forceful move there from Barry Hill to come across the line, and the race is coming to an end. I don't want it to. Right. So as we see the rear of the field just come up, Javon Codrington defending the Machine Wilson. That looked like a battle that was developing quite nicely, and then Ranalf bringing up the rear. Unfortunately, Morris, I think, did DNF amongst all of that. I mean, after the amount of contact that happened because of that was unreal. But meanwhile, Dominic Charles is our overall winner for round two, as he's parked his car on the bridge, the donut bridge. Whether he is going to perhaps light up the tyres and put in a few doughies for us, I don't know. But if someone could come and jump over him, that would finish it off massively. So Dominic Charles wins round two of the Bushy Park Clubman Championship. Rob Simmons comes home in second for race two. Well defended. I think he's just sort of done well with the amount of scrapping that went on behind him. Damien Hall bringing up the end of the podium in third place. Managing to just let everyone else do their scrapping. Damien had a very smart race there. I think that is a very smart race from Damien Hall. Just let everyone else fall over, and he just said thank you very much, came through. Ryan Hunt. Brian, you provided a lot of entertainment. You may have a few stewards' inquiries on your hands. Fifth place, Jamal Badou. Sixth place, Barry Hill. Seventh, Jeevan Panjwani. In eighth place, coming home, it's Merritt. Ninth, it's Javon Codrington. 12th, O'Sheen Wilson. 13th, Ranalf. Oh, there we go. The wonders of modded communities. And then the 14th in bringing it home is Morris. So, and breathe. I'm speechless, genuinely speechless. That was some of the best and most chaotic racing I've seen in such a long time. It was marvellous to watch. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to jump into the voice comms of the drivers and try and get some of their reactions. And we'll talk to a few of the drivers in there as well. So give us a second while we head on over. And I apologise if you hear any untoward language. I can't control what they say when we join.
Didn't select my setup. I was using default setup. Oh man, it's horrible.
Oh lord, that's pressure.
Right. That was, as I was saying on stream, I'm Chris, by the way, I'm the commentator in case you're new here. That was spectacular. That was some of the best, most ferocious racing I've seen in so long. Christ, where to begin? Is Dominic in here? Dominic Charles.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, I'll start by saying congratulations on
2 race wins there, showing us how it's done, lead from the front, and also how to come through the field. You happy with that?
Yeah, pretty happy. I didn't expect that to happen, actually. I thought I would be a little bit off the pace, but it all worked out, so yeah, no complaints.
Yeah, there was a large amount of scrapping amongst the field, around you, in front of you, behind you. There's also Barry Hill in here. Is he in here?
Yep, I'm here.
Barry, it was obviously getting second place, some good defending in that first race, but you couldn't quite replicate what Dominic had to offer with coming through the pack in the second one.
Yeah, it was a pretty good first race. I could not catch Dominic. I tried my best. I even asked Ozzy if he had pace behind me, but he didn't have pace. So it was just literally just defend for P2. And then the second race was just everyone had their elbows out that race, man. It was just epic. Just got bumped off. So yeah, but good racing.
Yeah, there was a good amount of racing in there. We've got Ryan Hunt in here as well. I want to speak to Ryan.
Yes, I'm here.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Now, I think you had the widest elbows out of the bunch. it was some very resolute defending and attacking. What is that? Is that your tactic usually in races?
No, not really, you know. My elbows aren't wide enough. I wish it was wider. I wish I have 3 or 4 cards. But not really. The guys got enough PS. The guys don't have enough PS. So the only thing they could do is try to keep up and try to keep ahead and try. Just to slow them down a little bit. Got it too fast.
There are some serious aliens in here. I'll be honest, but it was a good showing from all there. I'll speak to Rob as well, because you managed to hold off Pete for P2 in the end. That was some good going for that second race.
Yeah, you know, I figured from the last event that we did with the Radicals, I noticed that, you know, if you can get in front and stay in front for at least the first 7 laps, and these fast guys like Damien and Dominic are not there, you should be fine. But I saw Dominic and Irvin Maris, and I said, let me just get the podium. I'm not going to hold on to this first. He was just too quick. So all in all, it was a good weekend again. Podium, another podium, and yeah, I just got to learn to get that, do better in the first race. That's all.
I'm sure that will come with time. It will be the next round. I'm sure you'll be up there. P1 is what I expect, Rob. Nothing less.
For sure.
So, and with that, we will round out today's stream. I hope you have all enjoyed it, watching at home. I believe there's some sort of hand egg game going on at this time, so I don't blame you if you watch this at a later date. But I hope you've all enjoyed it. It's certainly been an astonishing amount of racing. Good racing, some fair racing, some unfair racing. But I hope you've all enjoyed it. And I just want to say a huge thank you again to Bushy Park for sponsoring this and putting some prizes on offer. Of course, we have got the modded circuit in AC and we're going to use it. And as you can see, it produces some mega racing. So with that, I'll say thank you for watching. This has been the Caribbean Sim Motorsport. And yes, we will see you all next time for round 3 of the virtual Bushy Park Clubman series. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.